So the McMartins had to sell everything they had to pay their lawyers. Ended up in jail. The mother that was jailed, the elderly woman, says that she was intimidated by the police while she was in jail. And they played games with her to keep her from testifying or something like that, or keep her from participating, or to just keep her from being able to function. And then there were things about Bucky McMartin, things that he might have done that looked like they could have been suspicious. What it turned out to be was that the social worker and the police, whoever the caseworker was that was questioning these children, was suggesting to the children specific sexual acts without the children telling them anything sexual at all. And planted those ideas in their minds. And then told the kids, they don't remember at all, dissociative, symptoms. That's why they can't put all the pieces together or whatever. It was a very expensive trial. It cost the McMartins everything they had. It cost taxpayers millions of dollars. To prosecute that case. I think the first trial went on for a year, resulted in a hung jury. And then there was a second trial. In the second trial, they were acquitted. So the state's argument was that they were conducting a good faith investigation, that Bucky McMartin had done some things that were suspicious, but there was no, other than they were being accused of satanic worship. Their property was searched for dead animals. There's a little boy standing out there by himself. He looks like he's probably 8 or 9, maybe 10. I watched a video once on self-defense for children against pedophiles, and the video talked about how these pedophiles would appear to be very warm and caring people to children. Would show up at parks with dogs, even appear to be, completely harmless, and then stand over just off in the distance and get the kids distracted. If the kids were at the park by themselves and that was a heyday for them, get the kids to play with the dog and then snatch them. They spend all their time, another boy just walked back in the library, they spend all their time planning these ways of abducting children. And we were trained about it in substitute training too. Where the pedophiles in classrooms, there was one person that was a pedophile, buddy with the family of the student. Next thing you know, is going on vacation with the family. All designed to be perceived as completely trustworthy, very caring, and wanting to interact with the family and caring about the children so that they could have access to the children. I don't ever buddy parents. I don't go seeking individuals with children. I went into education because I was always a talented teacher, even when I myself was a child. I made straight A's and then A's and B's. I tutored kids, and I was good at explaining how to do, math or English or whatever. Um, you know, and it was just a natural talent that I had, even when I was young. Um, and I had other leadership positions and stuff like that too. You know, uh, I didn't go into substitute teaching to become a child molester. I wanted to be certified, but I couldn't get the money together for the tuition. The only difference between the money I make now working at a gas station, if I work 40 hours a week, as a gas station attendant, I would make $308 a week. If I work 40 hours a week as a substitute teacher, I make $375. The difference is $67, and I guarantee you, you're a substitute teacher and you want to work 40 hours a week, you got to drive all over Shreveport. $67 is going nowhere but straight into my gas tank just to get there, which I was, not reimbursed for mileage or anything like that. So you don't go into substitute teaching to get rich. Madeline, my store manager, makes $48,000 a year, and she's the manager of a gas station. Starting teachers, I think, make $32,000 or $35,000. This is Madeline's first job as a store manager. Her prior job, before she became a store manager at Circle K, she was an assistant manager at a fast food place. So, it's not, going to teaching or education because you want to become rich. There are people that are pedophiles that go into education because they want to molest children. Because we're taught about that in substitute teaching. So, we went over those things. The security chief told us about a situation with a coach that happened. This was another pedophile situation where he wasn't a pedophile, but the kid walked into his office and then made an accusation that he had been sexually abused by the coach. So he warned us, about contact with students, their physical bodies and stuff like that, and hugs and all that type of thing. Because he'd seen all that, and he was chief of security for the school system. He went through it all. So he knows his stuff. And finally, the expert in the McMartin case that stepped forward was an expert, I think, from another country, maybe from England, but maybe not. He had, I think he'd worked for the FBI. He went through that evidence and he just ripped it to shreds, and he ripped it to shreds with expert testimony. And the prosecutors couldn't touch him. They couldn't convince him. They couldn't try to catch him and get him to say one thing and get it to mean something else. He knew his stuff, and he knew the McMartins were innocent. They were pronounced guilty by Oprah Winfrey on national television. So I don't think that did too much to help them. You can buy, if you look at law magazines, you can see advertisements, expert testimony for defense against workman's comp claims. There are people who are experts and list themselves and advertise themselves as experts that will defend you against claims of abuse or neglect or whatever you want to say. Before they even met you, they're willing to do that.